Mrs. Puana, in March 2013, did you file a lawsuit against Katherine Kealoha?
Yes, I did.
And why did you file the lawsuit?
Because she didn't do her work that she promised. She was not a good attorney for me. She never answered the question. She knew that I didn't know anything about it.
Had she kept her promises for paying off the reverse mortgage?
No, she had. She did not.
I'd like to direct your attention to June 19th, 2013, the day when Katherine Kealoha's deposition was taken. Do you remember that day?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Puana, would you like to take a break now? And we can restart in a couple minutes?
No, I think I'm fine.
You're fine?
Yeah.
Okay, then we will carry on.
Yes.
So were you present on June 19th, 2013 when Katherine Kealoha's deposition was taken?
Yes, I was.
Did you stay to the end of that deposition?
No, I did not.
Why did you leave early?
I was very ashamed of myself what I did, but I turned around to my son and said that she is lying. She was lying, and I shouldn't have done that. So my attorney told my Gerard and I to leave.
So did you leave?
Yes, I did.
And did anyone go with you?
My son took me to the lobby.
Okay. And what happened when you got to the lobby?
My Gerard turned to Bobby, and he said, "Bobby, could you stay with Grandma while I go for my car?" And I said, "Grandma." And then I realized that that was my great-granddaughter, Miley Louise's husband.
I'm directing your attention to Government's Exhibit 1-15, which has been previously admitted. The gentleman in that photograph, is that the person you saw in the lobby?
Yes.
And did you have any conversation with Mr. Nguyen in the lobby?
Yes, he asked me questions about Gerard, and he asked me, which I thought was silly.
What questions did he ask you about Gerard?
Where did he park the car? I said, I don't know. And he asked other questions, and I just was hurting, and I wanted to go home. And then he asked me, what kind of car did he drive? And I said, a white car.
Now, when he asked you what kind of car does he drive, who was he referring to?
My son, Gerard.
Okay.
And he was texting someone while he was talking to me.
Who was texting while talking to you?
Bobby.
Bobby Nguyen?
Bobby Nguyen was texting someone while he was asking me these questions.
And how long approximately were you with Bobby Nguyen in the lobby?
Not more than 15 minutes, I guess.
Okay. How far apart from him were you when he was asking you these questions about Gerard?
Just about apart, you and I are.
So approximately 3 feet? Were you seated or sitting or standing?
I was sitting. Because I was on my walker, not on the wheelchair, but the walker.
Okay. And where was your son Gerard during this time?
He went to get the car.
Did he come back for you?
Yes, he did.
Okay. And did Mr. Nguyen help you out to the car?
No, he didn't.
Do you know what Bobby Nguyen's profession is?
He's a police officer.
Was he wearing his police officer uniform?
No, he was not.
Shortly after your conversation with Bobby Nguyen, did you hear anything about a mailbox at the Kealoha's house?
Yes, I did.
What did you hear about a mailbox at their house?
That they said it was Gerard.
And what did they say about Gerard?
That he stole the mailbox.
Have you ever had a chance to look at video?
Yes, I did.
And was that of the mailbox being taken?
Yes.
I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as government's exhibits 7-3 and 7-4. Do you recognize these exhibits?
Yes, I do.
Do you see some initials on these exhibits?
Yes,
Whose initials are those?
my initials.
And did you place those initials after watching the videos on these two discs?
Yes, I did.
What generally did you see on those videos?
Whoever I saw was not my son Gerard.
And what did you what did you see on these videos?
I saw this guy get out of his car and walk to the mailbox. And the mailbox seemed like it was sawed out because he just picked it up, didn't struggle with it, and he took it to the car.
Council, may I just ask inquiry? Can I?
Oops.
What?
Okay.
What exactly? Can I just see what you're referring to?
Mrs.
Somebody else wants to see.
Yes, please.
Mrs. Puana.
I just have an inquiry, not objection. Can you use a representation of what those discs are? Could I get that on the record? What they are?
Mrs. Puana, what did you see on those discs?
I just make an objection because I don't know what's on it. I don't think they've been identified as what those is contained on the disc, so I would object to that.
Thank you for your objection.
Okay.
Mrs. Puana, were there videos on these discs?
Yes,
And did you watch them?
yes,
And did these videos show someone taking a mailbox?
yes.
Do you know who that person was taking the mailbox?
I didn't recognize him, but I know it wasn't my son Gerard. Because he had broader shoulders and he didn't walk the way he did.
Who is he when you say he?
Gerard,
How long have you known Gerard?
as long as all my life.
Is that all his life?
Yes,
Okay. And you're familiar with how your son looks?
yes.
Is there any doubt in your mind as to whether that person in the video is Gerard?
I know it's not Gerard.
I'd like to talk to you now about a competency
Yes.
proceeding about you, okay?
Yes,
In the middle of your lawsuit against Katherine Kealoha, did Katherine file a lawsuit about you?
yes, she did.
What did she claim about you?
She said I was incompetent, and I am not incompetent.
How did you react when you heard that Katherine said that you were incompetent?
I felt bad. I felt like she didn't trust me, or she didn't love me like she did. Why should she say I was incompetent? She known me for a long time. And I don't think I gave her any indication to think that I was incompetent.
Now, in Katherine Kealoha's letter to you, which has been admitted as Government's Exhibit 1-10, Katherine said she would seek the highest form of legal retribution against you. Did you believe that the competency petition was a form of legal retribution against you?
Should be. Otherwise, she wouldn't have me go to all these different people.
What did you have to do after Katherine Kealoha filed the petition?
Well, she said I had to have proof, some kind of proof, that I was not incompetent.
And did you have to go see a doctor?
Yes, I did.
Who did you see?
I saw Dr. Planchette, and I saw Mr. Deal, and I saw Dr. Young.
And what was the result of that competency petition?
Everyone said I was not incompetent, and they wrote letters about what they thought I was, that I was not incompetent.
Your lawsuit against Katherine Kealoha, did you win or did you lose that lawsuit?
I lost it.
And what's the current status, if you know, of that lawsuit?
Well, I don't think they were fair.
I'm sorry, I could not hear the witness's answer.
Could you speak up a little bit more, Florence?
I don't think they were fair.
Mrs. Puana, do you still live in your family home on Nioi Place?
No, I don't.
And why is that?
I moved with my daughter in Kailua.
And why did you move?
I moved because I sold my house,
And why did you sell your house?
because I lost it to a mortgage, reverse mortgage.
Could you have chosen to stay in it for the rest of your life?
Yes, I could, but I did not want, because I promised my husband that after I'm gone, I would sell the house and split it among my 9 children.
Okay, I have no further questions of this witness at this point. And at this point, I would propose a 10-minute break. If the video operator could please state the time for the record.
We're off the record at 10:47 a.m. We're back on the record at 11:04 a.m.
So the United States has finished its direct examination of the witness, and then at this point, the defense attorneys will now be able to cross-examine the witness. And I believe we're beginning with Mr. Brevard.
Yes, Bernie Brevard on behalf of Derek Hahn. Good morning, Ms. Puana. My name is Bernie Brevard.
Yeah.
I'm the attorney for Derek Hahn, who's
Yeah.
sitting right next to me here, to my right. You don't know Derek Hahn, do you? Right here, you don't know this man.
Oh, yeah.
You don't know him.
No,
And you've never met him.
no.
Thank you. No further questions.
My name is Lars Isaacson. Ms. Puana, down here. I represent Gordon Shiraishi, who's one of the defendants in the case. Have you ever met Mr. Shiraishi?
What did he say?
I'm sorry.
I couldn't hear him.
Can you see Mr. Shiraishi okay? Can you see him? I'm sorry. I'm not.
Would you like to approach maybe closer, Mr. Isaacson?
Yes, I will do that. We're going to come up a little closer. I'm going to lean over here a little bit.
Okay.
My name's Lars Isaacson. I'm a lawyer,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I represent Mr. Shira Ishii,
okay.
who's one of the defendants in the case.
Okay.
You don't know him, do you?
No, I don't.
You never met him?
No,
You sure of that? Okay.
I have never met him.
Thank you very much. That's all the questions I have.
Good morning, Ms. Puana.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
Okay, my name's Russ Barbie. I'm over here in the blue shirt,
Yes.
and I represent Louis Kealoha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me ask you just a couple brief questions, and I don't mean to insult you. I just want to make sure that you fully know what's going on today, okay?
Okay.
Okay. What is the date today?
The date is April 31st,
What year?
2019.
Okay, and where are you?
I'm at the court
Okay, and what city are you in?
in Oahu.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you a few questions about what we talked about this morning already.
Yes.
Okay. So in, I guess it would have been sometime in 2009 time period, somebody telephoned you and gave you a presentation over the telephone about a reverse mortgage?
Yes, that's
Okay.
correct.
Okay, and based upon that conversation with the salesperson or whoever, you thought or considered that maybe a reverse mortgage would allow you to buy a condo for your son Gerard?
Yes.
Okay, and where were you living at the time that you considered buying this condo for Gerard?
I was at 3934 Nioi Place.
Okay, and did you live alone there, or who lived with you?
My son Gerard.
Okay, so it was just you and Gerard living there, no
Yes.
other sons or daughters, just
Yes, sir.
Gerard? Okay. And your goal, after you heard this presentation from the salesperson about the reverse mortgage, was to purchase a condominium for Gerard.
Yes.
And the condominium that he was interested in was the one he used to live in earlier in his life, correct?
Yes.
And that was the Greenwood or?
Greenwood.
Okay, Greenwood condominiums.
Yes.
So Gerard used to live there, he lost it, he moved in with you, and you decided to purchase or repurchase the same unit that he used to live in.
Objection, vague, facts not in evidence.
You decided that you would purchase this condominium for your son Gerard.
Yes.
And that's the condominium that he wanted you to purchase.
Yes.
Okay. And then at some point, it was your idea to meet with your granddaughter, Katherine Kealoha, to see if she could help you and Gerard purchase the condominium for Gerard?
Objection, misstates the evidence.
Is
She
that,
came to me.
how did she know that you were interested in buying a condominium for Gerard?
Because that was the person that was she was in the realtor. She was a realtor. My son Gerard's friend was a realtor, and she told my son that that apartment was for sale, and he got so excited. So he said, "Oh, I wish I could get that." And I said, "Well, I'm sorry, we don't have the money." So Katherine Kealoha came to me and said, "I can help you to help Gerard get the apartment he wants." And I said, "How is that?" She said, "Oh, you can have a reverse mortgage." And she said that you can pay the reverse mortgage every month. So I can give her money to pay the reverse mortgage. and then Gerard and her will take over the monthly payments.
Initially, with regard to this reverse mortgage business, was it a telephone call from somebody that interested you in a reverse mortgage?
No, Kathy came to me and told me that she could help me to get the condominium for Jerry. And I said, how can it be? And she said, well, you can make a reverse mortgage. And she said, and get me the money, and she would pay the reverse mortgage, and the remaining money would go to for her upkeep of her house, and then the rest of the money she would the rest of the money she would keep for the refinancing her home. But she said the reverse mortgage was paid off. She would pay off the reverse mortgage.
Okay.
And the rest of the money she would use for her home.
Okay, I appreciate that, but I'm trying to just ask kind of a more narrow question. In 2009, where did the idea of reverse mortgage come from first? Was it somebody who called you on the phone, or was it Kathy?
Objection
No.
asked and answered.
Was it the person on the phone, or was it Kathy?
It was Kathy who came to me because my son did not want to sign the paper because he felt he had 8 siblings, and he thought it wouldn't be fair for him to sign the paper. So Kathy said if I would have the reverse mortgage, and it took me some time before I decided I would sign the paper. But Kathy came to me and told me she could help Gerard to get this apartment.
Okay, I have a bunch of questions I wanted to ask you, and they're kind of a little bit more narrow, so it might be faster if you just try to answer specifically the question that I'm asking. So your son Gerard wanted to get your help in buying the condominium, correct?
Well, he knew I couldn't do it because I didn't have that money, that kind of money. So that's why it took some time before I signed the paper. And then Kathy came to me and said she could help me to help Gerard to get the apartment.
How did Kathy know that you wanted to buy a condominium for Gerard? How did she know that?
Because Jerry must have said that was the apartment that he owned before.
Okay.
But he said he didn't have the money for it.
Okay, you indicated earlier this morning that you had 9 children and that one had passed away.
Yes,
So in 2009, in that time frame, you would have had 8 living children?
I still had 9 children at that
In
time.
2009?
My son who passed away just last year.
I see. Okay, I'm sorry for that. And you indicated on your direct testimony that you had promised your deceased husband that when it was time that you would sell the house and split the proceeds evenly
That's right.
between the siblings.
That's right. That's why I was very undecided whether I should sign the paper or not. But it took me some time.
But the sibling that you were living with in 2009 eventually was the one that was the only sibling that had a condominium purchased for him, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and that was Gerard.
that was Gerard.
Okay. With regard to exhibit, Government's Exhibit 1-1, Mr. McDonald, thank you. This has been identified as a durable power of attorney. And you looked at that with Mr. McDonald?
Yes,
Okay. And who is Louis Kealoha?
that is Katherine Kealoha's husband.
Okay. And he's not an attorney, is he?
Pardon?
He's not a lawyer?
He is the police chief.
Okay, but he's not a lawyer, correct?
That I don't know.
Okay, okay, that's fair enough. On that durable power of attorney, Exhibit 1-1, he's not listed as one of the people that has your power of attorney, is he? It's just Kathy, correct?
He's not listed.
Okay, thank you. With regard to Exhibit 1-2, the trust amendment,
I couldn't hear that.
yeah, he's going to hand it to you, ma'am. Okay, you talked about this exhibit earlier this morning also, probably around 10 o'clock or so. That purports to be a trust amendment. It's amending the, your trust. There's no amendment affecting Chief K, or Louis Kealoha, is there? There's nothing to do with Mr. Kealoha, correct? Dan, take your time.
Why do he have a...
Okay, it has some names on the document.
Yes, it does.
And it says Florence Puana Trust, correct? And maybe I can assist by pointing areas out to her. Okay. At the top of the page, what is the name of the trust?
The second amendment of the Florence Puana Trust.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
what does that mean? Second trust.
But the name is the Florence Puana Trust?
Yes,
Okay. And then it has, towards the bottom, the initial trustee. It has a name,
yes, it has the name.
and that's your name?
Yes, but it's printed.
It's printed, correct?
Yes,
And underneath that name is the successor trustee,
Katherine Puana,
and under that is the final successor trustee,
Gerald K. Puana,
and then the beneficiary is,
Florence M. Puana.
okay, and there's no name on there giving any interest to Louis Kealoha, is there?
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you. On Government's Exhibit 1-3, I believe it's the Bank of America joint account signature. Mrs. Puana, what's been handed to you is Government's Exhibit 1-3. It's a Bank of, is it Bank of America or Bank of Hawaii? Let's see, it's a joint card.
Yes.
Oh, sorry to be getting up and down here.
Yes, I know that.
Okay, it's a joint signature card, correct?
Yes,
And there's no signatory for Louis Kealoha. is there?
Yes,
He's not on that card, is he?
Catherine gave me the slip of paper,
Okay,
and she said to sign this paper.
right.
And I said, what am I signing this paper for?
Right.
And she said, I told you, trust me, I'm your attorney. This is for the divorce, for the reverse mortgage.
And on that Exhibit 1-3, there's no signature for Louis Kealoha, is there?
No,
Okay, I next like you to look at Exhibit 1-9. And what's been handed to you, I believe, was admitted into evidence. And that's a letter purportedly from you to Catherine, correct?
yes,
Okay. And you had help writing the letter. Your daughter helped you write the letter?
yes, my daughter wrote it to me, and I told her what I wanted to write.
Okay, and who's the letter addressed to?
I'd write, Dear Catherine.
And at the bottom of the page on the left, it appears there's a CC to two people.
Yes,
And that would be Louis Kealoha
yes,
and Francis H. Yano.
yes.
And Francis Yano is your personal attorney?
I asked him, but he said he was in the real estate and he couldn't take my case. So he handed me to Gerald, my present attorney.
Okay, understood. But by that mention of the two names at the bottom left part of the letter, does that mean that copies of the letter were sent to those two individuals?
I signed it, but I don't. I signed it.
Do you know who put that CC and the two names there on the face of the letter? Do you know who put their names there?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know if copies of this letter to Catherine went to those two people?
No, I did not know.
Okay. And the purpose of the letter was for it to reach Catherine, correct? This was your letter to Catherine.
Yes,
And if you look at page 2, it appears to be an envelope.
what's on page 2?
And do you see the addressee, the person who was, the envelope is mailed to?
Chief Louis Kealoha.
Okay, did you want this letter to go to Chief Kealoha?
No,
Did you expect him to answer the letter that you wrote to Catherine?
no.
Okay.
How could he? Because I didn't ask him.
Right. All right. Okay, after you sent that letter to Catherine in 2012, you got a letter back from Catherine, correct?
Yes, I did.
Could you, witness be shown Exhibit 1-10? Oh,
Yeah, it was into,
Wait for a question.
do you remember talking to the government's lawyer about that document this morning, earlier today? This is a letter addressed to you from Katherine.
yes,
Okay. And regarding the subject matter of the letter, it appears that the letter talks about the reverse mortgage and loans and financial issues affecting yourself and Gerard and Katherine, correct?
yes,
Okay. And these financial issues, Mr. Kealoha, Louis Kealoha, was not involved in these these financial issues between the three of you.
no, he's not.
After some time passed and after Gerard was able to move into his condominium, did you go to move in with Gerard?
Objection, relevance.
Yes, I did for a while.
And that was for a very short amount of time, correct?
Yes,
And then you moved to Kailua with your daughter.
yes,
Okay. And after the exchange of letters between your letter to Katherine in 2012 and her response in September 2012, you and Gerard decided to sue Kathy, correct?
yes,
And that case proceeded to a trial across the street here in Hawaii First Circuit Court, correct?
yes,
You discussed with the government's lawyer looking at a videotape of what appeared to be a man taking a mailbox.
yes.
Was that black and white or was it color?
It was black and white.
Okay. And you indicated that you did not recognize the person who was taking the mailbox.
No, it was not my son,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. In 2011, how did your son look
Objection
in
as to
terms of
relevance.
his physical appearance?
Objection as to relevance as to the time frame.
Well, let me back up a little bit. You indicated that the person who appeared to be taking the mailbox, their shoulders weren't as broad as Gerard. Gerard had broader shoulders.
Yes, broader shoulders than the person on that video.
Okay. And has he always remained pretty much the same size, or has his weight varied during, let's say, the past 6 years or so?
Well, not necessarily.
Meaning that his weight is not necessarily always the same
Objection vague as to the time frame.
during the past 6 years or so?
Objection as to relevance over the last 6 years.
It's you are familiar with your son Gerard's physical appearance, correct? Mrs. Puana?
I wouldn't say. I couldn't say.
You couldn't say that you're familiar with his appearance?
I couldn't say if it was the same or not.
Okay. What would you estimate his weight to be now in 2019?
Relevance, objection.
If you
can answer
had
the question.
if you had to say what his weight would be, what would his approximate weight be?
I wouldn't know.
Okay. In the past, has he weighed less than he does today?
Objection vague.
In the past, has he always appeared to be the same as he appears today in terms of weight?
Like I said, I couldn't say.
Okay. So you couldn't say whether or not
Yes,
5 years ago if he were a lighter weight than he is today?
I couldn't say.
Okay.
I couldn't answer that.
In looking at the government's, or looking at the videos that you looked at, do you know that person that's taking the mailbox? Can you identify that person?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I really don't know.
No further questions.
Thank you.
Mrs. Puana,
Yes,
Mrs. Puana, how are you doing?
yes,
Can you keep going? Are you okay to continue? Are you okay to keep going?
yes.
Okay. Mrs. Puana, my name is Randy Hironaka. I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yes.
Okay? If at any time you don't understand a question of mine, will you let me know?
Yes,
Okay.
okay.
Mrs. Puana, you already testified that you know somebody by the name of Bobby Wynn. Is that correct?
Yes,
And who is Bobby Wynn?
Bobby Nugent.
Yeah, same person.
Bobby is my great-granddaughter, Miley Louise's husband.
Okay. Are they still married or no? They're not.
I don't know.
Okay. And about how long have you known Bobby?
Since he married Miley Louise.
Okay. Do you know what year that was?
Yeah,
When was that?
that was maybe about 2009.
Okay. And were you close with Miley?
Objection relevance.
Well, I never saw her all the time.
How often would you see her? In the
I never
2009.
saw my granddaughter Miley Louise often.
You did not see her often.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you know how often you would see her?
she never came to my house. No,
Okay. How about so I'm guessing that you saw Bobby even less than Miley.
Pardon?
You wouldn't see Bobby that often either then.
well, Bobby, I saw him with this police officer's uniform. So when I saw him without his uniform, I couldn't recognize him. But after I did,
Okay, so you're saying, I'm a little confused. You're saying that you used to see Bobby in a uniform
yes,
when you first met him. Is that what you're talking about?
yes,
Oh.
whenever I saw him, he had his police uniform.
Okay, did there come a time when, and when he was wearing his uniform, how often would you see him?
Well, I couldn't recognize him until my son Gerard told him to sit down with Grandma.
Okay,
And when he said, sit down with Grandma, I realized it must be my granddaughter, Miley Louise's husband.
and you're talking about the day of the deposition of Katherine Kealoha.
That's when he came to the lobby.
Okay. So and I'm gonna ask you some questions about that, but I want to back up a little bit
Yeah.
first. Okay. So, can you say now if Bobby Wynn is in this room?
Pardon?
Is Bobby Wynn here today? Is he in this room? Bobby, is he here?
Bobby,
Yes.
here,
Is he here right now in this room?
I can't, well, I'm blind from my left eye,
Oh, I see.
so
Okay.
I cannot see very well.
Okay.
So I couldn't recognize him.
You wouldn't be able to recognize him?
No.
Okay, all right. So, did there come a time later on when you would see Bobby not in uniform, or are you saying you couldn't recognize him?
Well, the day I came to the lobby and my son Gerard told me to sit with Grandma, then I put two and two together and I said, it must be Miley Louise's husband, because he was wearing an aloha shirt and shorts.
Okay, ma'am, are you saying that you just guessed that that was Bobby, or are you saying that you recognized that that was Bobby? You're saying that you guessed that that was him.
Objection misstates the testimony.
You did not recognize that person as Bobby Nguyen, correct?
Objection misstates the testimony.
I'm asking a question.
Well, first of all, my eyesight is not too good,
Okay,
so I cannot really see the faces plain.
okay, let's back up a little bit. I want to talk about earlier that day, okay? Do you remember where the deposition took place? Do you remember what building it took place in?
What?
The building that the deposition was in.
The building, I don't know the building.
Okay, generally, how about, was it downtown?
It was, gee, I don't know.
Okay, do you remember what time the deposition started? Was it first thing in the morning? Was it like today? Did it start in the morning and kind of go all day?
If I would see Bobby today,
No. I'm saying the deposition. Do you remember what time it started?
Vague as to deposition.
Okay, I'm talking about, I believe you previously referenced this as the deposition of Katherine Kealoha on June 19, 2013.
yes,
Okay. Do you remember what time the deposition started? What time did you get to the building?
I don't remember.
Was it in the morning?
Yes,
Okay, you went with your son, Gerard, right?
Yes.
He drove.
yes,
Okay, and it was just the two of you that drove there together.
yeah. He drove me. My son Gerard drove me.
Okay, and your attorney met you there, right?
Yes,
Okay, and was that Gerald? Is that the person you called Gerald?
yes,
Okay. And you said that you had to leave early
yes,
because you said something you were ashamed of, right?
yes.
Okay. And then you said that your attorney, your own attorney asked you to leave, right?
Yes,
Okay. And do you know how long you were there before you were asked to leave?
a long time.
Okay. So after you left, then you went down to the lobby with your son Gerard, right?
Yes,
Okay. And then you said that Gerard, you testified earlier today that Gerard asked Bobby to stay with you.
yes,
Okay. And, ma'am, you remember having a deposition similar to this about 5 years ago, right? Do you remember that?
yes,
And different lawyers, but you were being asked very similar questions, correct?
yes,
Okay. And do you remember at that time saying that your son told you to sit next to Bobby and wait for him?
yes.
Okay.
He said, he didn't say Bobby, he said, sit next to Grandma. So when he said Grandma, then I said, that must be my great-granddaughter, Miley Louise's husband,
Okay.
because I didn't know any other Bobby. So when he said Bobby, I realized it was him.
Okay. Now, you said that Bobby was texting on his phone
Yes, he
while he
was.
was talking to you. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay. Previously, when you were asked questions, and I know this was a while ago, this was 5 years ago, when you said that Bobby was on his phone while he was talking to you, is that what you were referring to? Did you mean
No.
texting or talking on the phone?
I said texting.
You said texting today.
No, yes, today I said text. I
Okay.
didn't say it yet, but I'm saying now. He was texting someone while he was asking me all these questions about Gerard.
Okay.
He asked me, where did he park?
Okay, so just to be clear, ma'am, you're telling us that 5 years ago you didn't say texting, right? Today you're saying texting.
Well, I don't remember what I said 5 years ago.
Okay, you don't remember.
No,
Okay, now, you said that Bobby was asking you questions about Gerard's car, right?
yes,
And you said that he asked you what kind of car Gerard drove,
yes,
and you said that he also asked you the color?
I told him it was a white car.
You told him it was a white car.
Yes,
Okay, now, this is the same car that you drove, you came in, you rode in earlier that morning.
yes,
Okay, and you're saying that when you told Bobby that, you were mistaken, that Gerard actually drives a silver car.
no, I didn't say silver, I said white.
No, I understand, but you're saying, is it your testimony that you were mistaken and Gerard actually drove a silver car? Are you still saying he drove a white car?
I said white car.
You told Bobby a white car.
Yes,
What color is Gerard's car?
silver.
Oh, he was silver.
Well, I don't know what kind of car he's got now, but
Okay.
he had a silver car.
He had silver on June 19,
Yeah,
2013.
when he brought me to the court, he was driving a silver car, but I told Bobby a white car.
Okay. Ma'am, how many times prior to June 19, 2013, did you ride in your son's car?
Well, he was the only one that took me around because I stopped driving when I was 90 years old.
Okay, in 2013, were you 94? Am I correct?
I met, but
In 2013, you were 94 years old, yes?
yes,
Okay, so you're saying that you stopped driving when you were 90, and so for 4 years, your son Gerard drove you wherever you needed to go, right?
yes,
He was a good son, right? Is that a yes?
yes.
Okay,
because
so he
he
would-
was the one that was living with me.
He would take you to the market.
Yes,
Okay. Is it fair to say you probably you took a ride in his car several times a week?
I don't know where he went, but I know where he took me.
Wherever you needed to go, you would go in his car, right? Is that a yes?
Where I was living at that time, it was on 3934 Nioi Place.
Right. And if you needed to go somewhere, Gerard would take you in his silver
Yes.
car. Is that
Because
correct?
my husband died on 2002, and he was the only one that took me around.
Okay. Now, you told us that you ended up later on seeing a video, right? You told us that you watched a couple of videos after, after June 2013, and you saw videos of a person taking a mailbox, right? You saw those videos, correct?
No,
You did not see the videos. Oh, I'm sorry. You said that you heard that Gerard was accused of stealing a mailbox. Is that correct?
well, I saw the video.
Okay, do you remember the first time that you saw the video, ma'am?
Is that the first time Bobby talked to me?
No, I'm asking you. Do you remember the first time that you saw a video of a mailbox being taken?
I was, when I was living with my daughter. I was, well, I'm living with her for 6 years, so it was that time.
So sometime in 2013, you started living with your daughter? Does that sound right? When did you stop living at Nioi Place?
Well, I stopped. Well, I couldn't walk up the stairs.
Okay. Do you remember the year that you stopped living there?
It was maybe 6 or 7 years.
Okay. Then you told us that you lived for a little bit with your son Gerard in his condominium, correct?
No, I wasn't living with Gerard in the condominium.
Oh, not in the condominium. Okay. But then for a little bit you lived with him, and then you lived with your daughter in Kailua, right?
I was living with my daughter then.
Okay. So you're saying that when you were living with your daughter, that's the first time that you saw a video of a mailbox being taken.
Yes,
Okay. So did you have, you've met your son's attorney, Alexander Silver, correct?
yes.
Do you remember the first time you met him?
Objection as to relevance.
You can answer the question, ma'am.
I met him when I was with my daughter.
When you were with your daughter. Okay. And do you remember how many times you've met with Mr. Silver?
Well, he came to the house to bring the videos.
How many times did he come to the house?
Maybe 2 times,
Maybe 2 times.
2 or 3 times.
And you're saying that he played the video for you?
Yeah, he put the video on and let us see it.
Okay, and so you watched the videos, and that's when you said, that's not my son, that's not Gerard, correct?
Yes,
Okay, and it was, am I correct, ma'am, in saying that it was also at this time that you said that you had told Bobby that the car was white? Is that correct?
well, when I met Bobby and he was texting, I was not living with my daughter then.
No. I understand, ma'am. My question is, and if you don't understand my question, then I apologize. But my question is, the first time that you said that you told Bobby, that you mistakenly told Bobby the car was white, is after you viewed the videos with Mr. Silver, correct?
Yes,
That was the first time you ever said that, correct?
yes,
Okay, you said, oh, I made a mistake, and I told him it was a white car instead of a silver car, correct?
yes.
Okay. So, hang on one second, ma'am. Okay. Ma'am, I'm sorry to jump around. I just have a couple more questions. After your conversation with Bobby in the lobby,
Yes,
your son came to get you from the lobby, right?
yes,
He parked the car and he came to get you. He walked in and the car wasn't that far away, right? He had parked it up a ramp and you went right out the door with your son Gerard, correct?
yeah, I don't know where he parked, but he came and get me.
And he walked you out, right?
Yes, and he walked me to the car.
Okay, and Mrs. Puana, you had also, you told us today that you know it's not your son in the video because your son has broader shoulders and he has a different walk. Is that what you said?
Yes,
Okay, and previously, do you remember telling the attorneys in your deposition 5 years ago that the person in the video is younger? Do you remember saying that?
he's younger.
Do you remember saying that 5 years ago, testifying that it's not your son because the person in the video is younger? Do you remember saying that?
No, I don't remember saying that.
Okay. Can you tell by looking at the video how old the person in the video is?
I couldn't see how old he was.
Okay.
That I couldn't say.
Okay. All right. Thank you, ma'am. I have no further questions.
All right, good morning, Ms. Puana. Are you doing okay? Are you okay to continue?
Yes, I am.
Okay. I'm Cynthia Kagiwara. I'm the attorney who's representing Katherine Kealoha. And with me is Anthony Kwan. He's another attorney who's going to help me with some of the exhibits. And as other attorneys have said, if you don't understand a question or you can't hear me, please ask me to repeat it. I'd be happy to do that
Okay.
for you. Okay. So before coming here today, you met with some of the attorneys from the government, correct?
Yes,
When did you meet with these attorneys?
I met them 2 days ago.
2 days ago. And do you remember how long you met with them for?
Well, they couldn't stay very long, so they stayed about 20 minutes.
Okay. And before that, had you met with them before 2 days ago as well?
Yes,
Okay. When did you meet with them earlier?
oh, that was about I think that's the only time I met them.
Okay. And did you discuss what your testimony was going to be today?
Yeah, some of it,
Yes. And
because
before
they couldn't stay too long.
okay. And before today, did you discuss your deposition today with anyone else?
No, I didn't.
Okay. So you did not talk to any of the other agents in this case?
No,
Did you discuss your deposition testimony with anyone from your family?
with my daughter.
With which daughter?
My daughter, Charlotte.
And is that the daughter that you currently live with
Yes.
in Kailua?
She brought me here.
Okay. So I know you've testified both on cross-examination and direct examination about a lawsuit.
Yes.
And you filed that lawsuit with your son Gerard, correct?
Yes.
And you filed that lawsuit against your granddaughter, Katherine,
Yes,
correct?
I did.
Katherine did not file that lawsuit against you, did she?
I filed a lawsuit against her.
Right. But so she did not start the lawsuit. You and Gerard started the lawsuit, correct?
Gerard didn't, I did.
Gerard did not start the lawsuit.
He didn't, I did.
It was your idea to start the lawsuit.
It was my decision.
Okay. And do you remember where that lawsuit occurred? Well, let me help you out. Was it across the street?
Pardon?
Did the lawsuit occur across the street in state court?
Well, I don't know the district very much,
Okay.
so I couldn't say that.
Was it
I
a
don't know.
different court, different building than
Yes,
we're in
yes.
today?
Yes,
Yes. And was there a trial in that lawsuit?
yes,
Yeah. And you went to the trial, correct?
yes, I did.
Do you remember when that lawsuit, when the trial started?
It was somewhere around, it was about 5 years ago,
Okay.
5 or 6 years ago.
And do you remember testifying in that lawsuit as a witness?
Yes,
Okay. And would it sound right if I said that maybe you testified on February 3rd, 2015?
could you repeat that question?
Does February 3rd, 2015 sound like the right date for when you testified?
Yes,
Okay.
about that.
Okay. So on direct examination, you talked a little bit about a Bank of Hawaii account.
Yes,
And as I understand on direct, you testified that you signed a card so you could be on that account.
I signed the card, but I asked her what was this paper for, because she knew that I didn't know much about legal things.
But I'm talking just right now about the bank account. Did you go to the Bank of Hawaii to sign a
Yes,
card?
I did.
Now, do you remember, you said on direct that you signed this account in order to get the reverse mortgage. Do you remember that? And you can put that aside now. I'm not asking you a question on this. Okay, yeah,
Listen to the question.
okay. Do you remember the reverse mortgage that you talked about on direct?
About the reverse mortgage.
Right. And do you remember when the reverse mortgage closed, giving instructions on what was supposed to happen with that money?
Yes, because they wrote me a letter.
Well, I'm talking about when the reverse mortgage first happened. Do you remember giving instructions on where that money should go?
That money was supposed to go to the reverse mortgage.
Okay, perhaps it would
pay
help
off
if I could show you what we're going to mark as a Defense Exhibit 1002.